Are you a professional?
Are you?
That's it, Clark. Show him who's boss.
Oh, we're all in this together.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the Clark Griswold YouTube channel. I am Mr. Clark Griswold, and I am happy to have you guys here. If you are a first-timer, guys, then welcome. If you are a first-timer to the Strat, again, welcome. This trading strategy will change the way that you guys trade, okay? You will not come across anything easier than what I'm going to show you here today, okay? So welcome. If you haven't subscribed yet, you can do so down below. You can click that subscribe button and hit that bell. That bell will give you notifications for when I send out the daily videos just like this one, which is our setups for Monday, May 9th. Okay, I also send out top 5 videos, informational videos, learning tools, motivational videos, learning tools such as what these numbers mean, 3-1 setups, outside bars, inside bars, 3-1 setups. I have a series of 4 videos on the 30 and 30 strategy, okay? So you can also follow me on Twitter at Mr. Clark Griswold. You can comment there. You can DM me there. I get back to you guys usually the same day. You can ask around. I'm here to help you guys out. You can also comment on the videos down below. Same thing. I'll get back to you guys right quick as soon as you have those comments or questions out there. So feel free to do that. If you like the videos, give me a thumbs up. If you think they suck, give me a thumbs down. I'm okay with that. And the last thing before we get started here, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. It's a special day for you guys, so enjoy it and celebrate it with your kids, with your family, with whoever. So enjoy it, guys. So let's get started on this daily setup watch list for Monday, May 9th for the Strat. And the first one we've got on the list is SPY, okay? So there's only 3 ways a candle can go. We can have a 2 down, which we've got here, and it only breaks the low. Or sorry, I should say there's only 3 ways candles can go. There's a 2, which breaks only one side of the candle, an inside bar, which stays within the range of the candle, and an outside bar, which breaks both the high and the low of a candle. So right now, we've got a 2 bar, but it's a 2 down because we broke the bottom of the previous candle. Okay? So we have a 2 down, but it finished green, okay? So it's a failed 2. We're going to look for this thing. Probability tells us that it's going to trend back up, just like this one did here. We had a 2 down, finished green, and we trended back up, okay? It doesn't always work that way, but probabilities tell us that it's very possible. And we don't get into this play until we hit our trigger. Our trigger is right here at $414.73. So that is our trigger. So if we get in that, you can buy common shares, you can buy calls. This top of the preceding wick is our first magnitude or target or pivot. The second one, so on and so forth, okay? That's how those targets work. We have nice magnitude here. There's a long run up to go if we trend to the high side. Okay, for expiry dates, I like to take the closest expiry. SPY expiries are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday currently, and I think they are going to 5 days a week expiries. But if you want a little bit more wiggle room, you can take the expiries for Wednesday or Friday on SPY. It'll give you a little more time if it trends the opposite way and you're still in the trade for some reason. Okay, and then a strike price for this one, I'm either getting, if we trigger, I'm taking probably 415 is the strike price I'm taking, okay? I usually take just outside the money. Okay, so that is SPY. If you guys have questions, you can leave them down below and give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Citigroup is next. So Citigroup has again a 2 down. So we broke only the low of the previous candle. And we've got triggers set at $51.99. And our first target is not great here at $52.12. But our second target here, and the other thing I should mention, this is what's called a rev strat. So we have a 1, 2 down, 2 up reversal. When it's a 1-2-2, that's called a rev strat. Okay, so whether it's a 1-2 up, 2 down, or a 1-2 down, 2 up, it's called a rev strat. It's still a reversal, but it starts with a 1 bar, okay? So for this one, our first trigger is here. Our second trigger, you notice this dashed pink line. I've done a little bit of extra work this weekend, so if you go to the 2-week chart, this pink line is the trigger to go 1, 2, 2 up on the 2-week. Okay, so the day was a 1-2-2 reversal. The week is a 1-2-2 reversal. So if we trigger on the day and it goes into force and we blast through second targets, well, our 2-week chart goes into force with a 1-2 down, 2 up reversal with targets at 53.42. So if you're looking at Citigroup on the day and we hit first targets and second targets, then we are likely going to, and it's not guaranteed, but it's very probable that we are going to 53.42, right in this range right here, where this white line is right here. So it's very likely that we get to that target there. And if we go back, our 53.42, that's 25, 53.42. This target right here is the target on the 2 week. So it's very likely we hit this high here within 2 weeks, granted, okay? So next up, we've got Fubo. So Fubo had this 3-1 setup on Thursday, and then Friday after earnings they really tumbled. Okay, so what we end up having here, this is still a 2 down because we broke below the low of the previous candle, but we finished green. Okay, so we're gonna look for this to trend up reversal. We didn't quite hit that broadening formation, that blue line that I've got there. We have to go way back to look at this broadening formation, but we can even it out even if we went to somewhere in here to create that. There, whoops. Okay, we'll go through broadening formations another day with you guys. We didn't quite hit it, but we're pretty close. But we'll look for a reversal regardless on Fubo. And when we're looking at targets, so this yellow line, let me bring this in just a bit. There we go. This yellow line is our trigger at 354. Now, normally I would tell you our targets are to the high side, okay? The high side of the candles, but because we're filling gaps, okay? We put them at the bottom of the preceding wick. So target 1, target 2, target 3, then target 4 would go to the top of the preceding wick, okay? So let's see how Fubo plays out tomorrow on Monday. Pinterest, again, 2 down, finish green. We have this 1-2-2 reversal that we talked about on Citigroup. So our trigger, let me move this over. Our trigger is $23.33. First target, $23.60. Second target, $24.30. Again, if you guys have questions on how this works, by all means, let me know, okay? So trigger for the calls or to go long on shares, and then our 2 preceding wicks. The top of them are our magnitude or our targets. SoFi is up next. SoFi has a... Yeah, so SoFi should not be on here. So we have a 2 down that finished red. And I guess while we're on here, guys, it doesn't really matter that this is a 2 red, okay? It can be red. It doesn't have to be green. If we break the high of... I'll just use this as an example and we'll see how it goes, okay? We'll change that to green. So this could very well still be a 2-2 or a 1-2-2 reversal. Okay, and that's probably why I had it on there. 1-2-2 reversal with this inside bar. So let's look at SoFi and see how it goes. If we break this trigger, the high of this candle from Friday at 688, we can go long and take targets at 711, okay? And then again, just take your preceding wick on the second candle here. And that's your second target. Okay, so we'll start moving through these a little quicker because we're getting a little bit behind here and we're running long. So again, here is Datadog. Again, a 2 down that finished green with a doji candle. And we can take trigger at 118.59 for calls. And our first target or our first order of magnitude is 124.44 on this green line. Okay, so that's on DDOG. If we go to Apple, Apple again, 2 down, finished green. Okay, we broke the low of the previous candle, so that gives us a 2 down, but we finished green, so it's a failed 2. We can take triggers on this yellow line at 159.44, and our first target is the top of the preceding wick. Really nice gap here to get up there. It's not a gap, but the magnitude or target, there's a nice dollar value gain here for us to hit this target on Apple on Monday, okay? So it looks really nice. AR is Antero Resources. So I don't normally have this ticker symbol on here, but what we have is a 3-1 setup. So an outside bar breaks the high and the low of the previous candle, and inside bar stays within the range of the previous candle. And this 3-1 setup is really, really powerful. And if you guys watched the videos before, you know I always say that. Inside bars in their own right are great, but when you have this 3-1 setup, they tend to do really well, okay? So we break the trigger and we hit first targets, okay? And we go back in there rare. They don't happen very often. And if you look at this one, outside bar, inside bar, we trigger and we go up for, 4 days. We have a nice little run. Okay, and then we have to go way, like, they're so rare. The next one is back in January 28th of 21. So they don't always work, but when they do work, they work really well. Okay, so I don't know what we start calling these guys. Rich from Trading Wars calls it the Holy Grail. I don't know if we call it the honey hole or the honey pot, or, give me some ideas down below what you guys think we should call this thing. These powerful 3-1 setups with the strat, okay? So that is Antero. We can take calls at 38.15, puts at 36.19. I'll be interested to see how that thing moves on Monday. BAC is Bank of America. 2 down, green, a little bit of a hammer candle here. Day, week, month are green, but this day and the week are unknowns because Monday has not opened yet. But let's look for calls on this one at 37.61 with a 2-2 reversal. Okay, and again, our targets are just the high of the preceding wicks. And when we go to the downside, it's the low of the preceding wicks, okay? If we come across one of those, I'll show you what I mean. CRM is up next, 2 down, finished green. So we can take calls at 172.49 on CRM. Cisco, CSCO, again, 2 down, finished green. 49.82 is our trigger, and we have some really nice magnitude here at 51.25, and the next one up here. So Cisco looks good for Monday. DIA, that's the Dow Jones Industrial ETF through Spider. 2 down, finish green. We can take triggers at 330.69 and targets at 338.30. Okay, that's DIA. GS is Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs, 2 down, finish green. So we're looking for a bunch of 2-2 reversals on Monday. 313.71 is what our trigger is on Goldman Sachs. MasterCard, again, 2 down, green. Trigger at 351.28. First pivot point or profit target is 367.77. MS, that's Morgan Stanley, 2 down, green. Triggers at 84.56. And let's see if we go to the... So that blue line on our daily is the monthly trigger, okay? So if we trend up and we hit first targets and second targets, and if we happen to break through this monthly trigger, that triggers the monthly, puts the monthly into the force. So the daily puts the monthly into the force. Possibly. I mean, we have a long ways to go to get up there. Is it possible? It is. So let's see what happens on Monday with Morgan Stanley on the daily and the monthly. Okay, so we move on to Nike, NKE, 2 down that finish green. And if you remember, like I said, when we have these gaps here, we take the bottom of the preceding wicks to fill that gap, and that's our first target. Then our next target after that can be the top of that candle, okay? So that's on Nike. We can take calls at 115.82 on Nike. Oracle, ORCL, 2 down green. Trigger at 72.95 targets, top of the preceding wicks again. So it's very repetitive, guys, and once you get it, it's like reading a book. You'll see things, okay? Inside bar on Pfizer. Pfizer is a very, very interesting play for Monday, and we're going to take some time and go through this one. So Pfizer has an inside bar. We can take calls on Pfizer at 49.21 or puts at 48.04. Okay, and inside bars, as you can see, do very, very well. It's all I traded when I started trading options successfully. I only looked for inside bars. And we can go and look. Inside bar, this one broke trigger, hit target. This one broke trigger, and we hit targets on the second day. Okay, but it's still really well. Inside bar, hit 2 targets on this inside bar. This inside bar, look, we broke in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight days. We trended down on Pfizer. So inside bars are super powerful. They show consolidation, and they're basically like a spring, getting spring-loaded and ready to explode to one direction or the other. Okay, so Pfizer, like I said, is interesting. So let's say we break to the high side on Pfizer. We break the trigger of 49.21, okay, and we hit first targets and second targets. Our third target up here is our break for the weekly swing trades, which I have the video out already, and I talk about Pfizer in there as well. So if we go to the week, we have an inside bar on the week. Okay, so if we break the trigger here at 50.04, then our first target on the weekly is up here. Now, remember I talked about the 2-week patterns and how I went and dove into that? We go on to the 2-week pattern, and we have a 3-2-2 reversal is what we're looking for. So if we trigger on the day, and then we trigger the weekly, if we trigger the weekly, our first target for the weekly is the trigger for the 2-week. Okay, so that's how that stuff works. It's very, very interesting the way it works. So the day triggers the week, triggers the 2-week. Okay, so trigger for the daily is the yellow, trigger for the weekly is the pink, trigger for the 2-week is the dotted pink line. Okay, and it's the same thing if we head to the downside, guys. So if we head to the downside on Pfizer, we hit triggers. Our first target is here. Our second target is our trigger for the weekly. Our third target is the trigger for the monthly. So now if we go to the weekly, we have an inside bar again. If we trigger on the weekly, our first target is the monthly. Okay, so if we go to the monthly chart now, and we trigger on the monthly, our first target is way down here. Okay, that's our target for the monthly at 45.44 on Pfizer, and we tagged the broadening formation. Okay, somebody asked me about broadening formations and if I use them. I do. And you can see right here, broadening formations. I don't know which one that is set up on, but again, broadening formations here. I think it's probably set up on the daily. There you go. Here, lower low, lower low. Okay. So that's why Pfizer is interesting. The day triggers the week, triggers the month. The day, if we go to the upside, triggers the week, triggers the 2-week. Okay, so Pfizer is a very interesting play for next week. Procter & Gamble has an inside bar, and again, you can go back and look at the 2 that are already there. We have this inside bar, and we break down for a really nice gain. Inside bar, break down for a really nice gain. So PG is a good play for Monday with this inside bar. We can take calls at 156.25 or puts at 153.87. There's a few more plays on here, guys. I'm not going to go through Tech L. That's a 3x ETF, and it's very risky. Wells Fargo, inside bar. So we can take calls at 44.87. The magnitude to the high side sucks on this one, and to the low side is not great either. So if you are on Wells Fargo and you do decide to play it, you're going to want to watch, because it'll hit these targets very quickly and it might reverse very quickly. So watch on WFC if you're playing it. XEL is XL Energy. XL Energy has a double inside bar. The last time we had a double inside bar was right here. And again, this is a more rare pattern than you see with the 3-1 setup, but we do have a second one here. And we did tag the trigger, and then we tagged the targets, okay, on this inside bar. If I had to go back and look, looks like we have another one right here. Double inside bar, and this one went for a nice ride. Triggered here, and 2 straight days of downward momentum. Okay, and I don't even know if I'll find another one here. The double inside bars are super rare. They show double. They're showing consolidation in a stock for 2 straight days, which you don't normally get. So XEL, I'll tell you right now, this will be on my top 5 list for later today and for Monday, okay? No question. Anytime there's a 3-1 setup, it's on my top 5. Anytime there's a double inside bar, it will be on my top 5. So let's watch this XL Energy play for Monday. Okay, and a few more here. XOM, ExxonMobil. Beautiful 3-1 setup again. So if we go back in time and look, just to see how Exxon does with 3-1s. This is a mumble jumble here of outside bars, inside bars. I'm going to look for one more. Like I said, they don't always work. Sometimes they run into outside bars. Here's one here, okay? So we trigger at the bottom of the inside bar, and we hit targets 1 and 2. We hit 2 targets on that one, okay? So powerful setups, rare plays. Help me think of a name for them. I'll let you guys come up with it, and we'll see what we have, and then we can maybe do a vote. Again, another double inside bar, and this thing ran for 1, 2, 3, 4 straight days before it had a downturn. Okay, so 3-1 setup on Exxon. You guys can look for this one on Monday as well. I'll tell you right now, it'll be on the top 5. The momentum for the time frame continuity looks great to the upside. We are, I will mention, at the top of a broadening formation here. Okay, so outside bar, inside bar, we can take calls at 91.82. Watch, because this magnitude is not great, and I think those are probably all-time highs with Exxon. So we are looking at exhaustion risk to the top side. A lot of people will play those and think, oh, we're busting into new all-time highs and we're going to trend up. And that might happen, but a lot of times what happens is, guys, we'll break this and then we'll come back down. Okay, so if we've done that already with these 2 bars here and we've triggered the top of this broadening formation, let's look for the downward trend, and we have good magnitude to hit this target down here. Okay, so watch XOM on Monday. Hopefully that made sense to you guys. XOP is the Spider oil and gas ETF. Another 3-1 setup. Again, you guys know how these work. So we can look for calls on this one at 142.51, puts at 137.49 on XOP. Guys, that's a list. Sorry the video is a little longer. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and we will see you on the next one, guys. Bye-bye.